Hey, today I'm thinking about what are the best and worst things about being a single mom. And I was going over it the last couple of days because I don't want to complain, because actually this has been one of the most transformative seasons of my life. But I do want to empathize with a lot of the women who are in my situation, that we've been married, we've had children, we had plans for our lives, and our husbands royally messed up because they were obviously under the influence of the enemy. And now I'm in a season of just kind of deconstructing. Let's get that sound out of the way. Deconstructing the whole last 33 years of my life. Now I'm in my 34th year. And so one of the things that's the first thing that comes to mind, that is the hardest thing about being a single mom, is my daughter's tantrums. Because since she's been going through this chaos of the last, let's say, year and a half, where, daddy was gone so much of the work week, and when he was home, he was absent, and then we traveled to the US and we had to live apart, and now suddenly we're going back to Dubai. No, now we're leaving Dubai again and we're in the US and daddy's gone again. So it's been a lot of major fluctuations. Mommy has been unstable, right? Emotionally unstable throughout these periods. So when we first arrived back to the US, knowing that I knew that there was going to be a long-term separation, it was hard for both my daughter and I, because I was crying, she was crying. There were times when her tantrums were so violent. At this point, she had just turned 3 years old, that she would be hitting me, and I would just be curled up crying, please, don't hit me. Nothing. She's feeling the absence and not knowing how to express it, and the only thing that could happen is that my sister would step in and help me. Thank God. This is one of the best things about my situation, one of the graces, I would say. My older sister, basically, her family took us in, and I've been living with her off and on since last summer when all of this started. And she's an expert mom. She is I tell everyone, if Snow White and Mrs. Claus were one person, it would be this woman, my oldest sister. And she's been a mother figure to me since I was a kid. She's about 19 years older than me, and so she just naturally took on that role. And she's very affectionate, nurturing. She's the ultimate, if you can think of just the best mom, she's that. She's homemaker. Thanksgiving, Christmas are just the most magical, she knows how to discipline and how to talk sense into a child and how to meet them at their level and just be so gentle. She does it with me, you know what I mean? So that's just one of the best graces. And this is why it has to be a God thing. It's so miraculous that I've been carried through this whole thing, is having that mothering from my sister to help me parent my child, who's basically going through slow motion trauma that I can't stop. The only thing that I know how to do, I know how to intercede. I know how to do warfare. I know how to teach her to listen to God. I know how to teach her to be parented by Father God. So those are the things that I can impart to my daughter as, basically the worst case scenario is happening, where her dad has basically cut himself off from our life in a major way, but yet he's still around and pretends what he's done isn't what he's done. And so it's a really weird type of death, because you're haunted by this ghost who's not taking responsibility or acknowledging what he's actively doing to her by abandoning her so that he can be with a fair partner. And the enemy is playing them like puppets. And then we're over here isolated because thank God, like he's protected us. So that's what I'm saying is it's like the hardest things about being a single mom and the graces, the best parts of being a single mom. So one of the other things, small airplane. One of the other things is I think this will resonate with people who have been through betrayal trauma. When I first landed back in the US, it was, my mind was so fried from the spiritual warfare that it was really hard for me to compute reality. So, because the reality, I was facing one reality while my husband was hiding and, still having this other double life, but to my face, he wasn't. And he had been doing that for basically a year and a half. Man, I wish that light would work. So one of the things is like, I was so psychologically, like, couldn't trust my own mind at times. And there was a really horrible, like, I'd had panic attacks and all this. And so there was a really horrible moment of panic when I was home alone with my daughter watching after the animals while my family was away because they needed to travel for some medical appointments for one of their daughters. And I had to do something at the pool where I needed to fill the water because something weird was happening, and I made sure, like, Rafa was inside and safe. I think I put her on the couch to watch something so I could go do that really quick. But then when I came in, she wasn't there. And I think I called my sister in a panic, like, I can't find Rafa. And, there's an upstairs and a downstairs, and like I ran, I don't think the door was locked. So I was like, oh my gosh, someone came in. Your mind just goes, like, reason goes out the window because I'm like 1 week fresh from my husband has just returned to his affair again. And yet he's not admitting the truth to me. So I'm like, I can't trust the number one reality that I should technically be able to trust. I mean, it's really God, but you know what I mean? And so, like, I'm basically recently traumatized. And so I went upstairs and I just called for my daughter and she wasn't there. And so then I'm like, oh my God, she's face down in the pool floor. Like, everyone's worst nightmare. If you have a pool in your house, at your house, is your number one as a parent, your radar is just beep, beep, alert, alert, go check the pool. So I ran to the pool. She wasn't in the pool, but I kept staring because I thought, I can't trust my eyes. And I kept staring, thinking she's in the pool and I can't see it. Like, that's how messed up. I'm a very stable, healthy, aware, like, I don't get stuff like that. Doesn't usually happen to me. So I felt very out of control. And I was absolutely frantic. I'm crying. I'm yelling at my sister on the phone, like, I can't find her. She's not in the pool, but I don't know if I can see. Like, I just felt so stupid in that moment. And just like, I didn't know what was going on. And so then I'm crying and I ran upstairs and I called again, and she had been upstairs, but I don't know why she didn't respond to me. And she was there and I was crying, and then she was crying because I was crying. So it's just a lot of this PTSD, CPTSD that happens when you've been through betrayal trauma. It's really unfortunate. I will say, let me think of what is the grace on the other hand. I've been able to do a lot of fasting and praying by myself now that I'm outside of that. I've stopped breastfeeding. So for a long time, I didn't do significant like water fasts or anything like that because I was breastfeeding. So now I've been able to start that again and be more intentional, deep about it, and really reset. Like, God is resetting my, I want to say, like, mental or emotional equilibrium, my nervous system, like all of that is being reset in this season. now that I'm isolated from, I would just say that the warfare, the spiritual warfare, which my husband really is not. I would say he's mostly out of control. He's submitted to it, but he wouldn't understand or know that he is. At least, we don't talk very often at all, but that's kind of the situation right now. One of the other, the best things about being a single mom, I would say, I'm getting to do, it's so simple, right? It's I'm getting to do things for myself, because I am, like most other moms, women who have been through this situation, I'm a sacrificial person. I will I have been to the ends of the earth, the ends of myself for my husband, right? And now, I've talked about this before, but back in a year ago, while my husband was in the affair, but I didn't know it, I was doing inner healing and deliverance with my counselor, my therapist, and I had a scene where I walked into, it was a heavenly encounter where I walked into a wedding scene with Jesus. And it was just me and Jesus. And I was like, oh, wow, oh, that's sweet. But what it really meant was Jesus was saying, no, I'm your husband now. Jesus as my husband. God is my protector, my provider. The one who lays his life down for me, right? I have to consider myself every day married to Jesus, bride of Christ, which we are. It's just most of the time we don't think about living from that place. So what I'm saying is, before, it felt I was in a tug of war where I was trying to serve my husband and serve Jesus, and it wasn't working out. It's there was nothing I could do that was enough. I was always the one laying down my life, when really the Bible talks about it's the husband's role is to lay their life down. It's dying as Christ died for the church. It's not my job to do. My job is to respect and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's a separate video. But, and, obviously I never, as a wife, I never got to that point, so it's not something I can preach on. But what I can speak to is that, I'm really enjoying, I wouldn't even just say single life. I would really say I'm enjoying finding out what it's like to be in a real biblical marriage with Jesus, because the quality time that I get to spend, the encounters I've had, the healing, I was already trying to do that before, but it was more focused on intercession for my husband. Now it's focused on me. I'm receiving for myself, not receiving so I can fix, right? That wasn't the correct thing, but that was the trap that I was in. And I would say, I feel, because I'm in this kind of, my old life has died, I'm in this resurrection time period, season of life where I'm getting to work on myself and to find out who I am after all of this. I thought I already knew who I was, but it's it's kind of, I'm starting life over in a sense. And it's just a really powerful time. It's I have to be careful, but I'm grateful for how things happened so that I could be in this season. It sounds terrible and awful, but that's just how loved and secure and fulfilled I feel right now. Let's see, what else are the hard things about being the sleep. Yes, hard thing, the sleep. My daughter wakes up in the middle of the night crying for daddy. Her sleep is she wakes up in the middle of the night with nightmares. So I just pray in the spirit when that happens. I'm a very light sleeper. So it just, I have to be more intentional about my sleep hygiene. It's just annoying, but like I have to be a responsible adult apparently, and take care of myself in that way. It's just learning her patterns, and she's going through changes. She's going from 3 to 4, so then her naps are changing, or her energy, and so it's just like a lot. This is why I have, again, another grace. I have the luxury and flexibility and resources to be a full-time present mom, so that I am focused on her as much as I need to be. Thankfully, like, there are laws that protect, wives, so that they get this, I'm supposed to be having the same level of comfort that I was used to. I was living a luxury life in Dubai. I'm living in a bonus room above a garage right now. Not complaining, but, there are laws that protect me, so that I have to receive that same level of quality of life. Thank you, U.S. legal system. And so, yeah, one of the hard things is the sleep, but one of the great things is that I also have the resources to manage. Like, if I need to take a nap, which I can't nap, but like, I have the ability to do that. I have the flexibility. So that's why, you guys, I say, like, there are definitely hardships, but I don't feel like I want to complain, because I'm, more than anything, God's grace has just lifted me, carried me. It's like I'm on a river, it's like, I like a good adventure. Whitewater rafting is really fun. And so it's like, yes, there were they tried to throw me out of the boat. The waves and the rocks tried to throw me out of the boat, but I became stronger, more equipped. I'm coming into, like, the more I learn about God and spiritual warfare and myself, like, the less mature I feel as a Christian. Honestly, I feel like, oh man, I'm just a kid. Here I thought, like, I had grown so much, which I did, because I did have to grow in a lot of ways to survive what I went through. But at the same time, I'm like, everything I thought I knew about, what I learned, I'm like, man, that got me to there, but like, I've got so much more to shed and to grow and to receive. Yeah, it just feels like I'm starting over as a Christian even, but with a lot more tools in my toolkit. Yeah, so what else about, one thing I want to do is, at the end, I didn't have like a full script about like all the best and worst things. It's just more of a rambling, but I did want to pray for single moms, because I am living it. So I have an authority to stand in the gap, and intercede for other single moms specifically, because it's a very special nuance. Now, it's quite common. It shocks me how common, like, maybe God is just bringing me more and more single moms, or moms that are in marriages where they feel like they're a single mom. I'm surrounded by it now. And, I just think that he wants to take my experiences, how he's blessed me, and encourage other women. Oops, get that ray of sun out of there. So I'm just going to pray. If you can, posture yourself to receive this prayer wherever you are. You can put your hand on your heart, your hand out. Lord, I'm just amazed at how you've carried me. And I know that there are many women in very different and more challenging situations where they are working and they don't have the capacity to pour into their child as much as they want to. Situations where their betrayer or ex is actually antagonizing them and making the situation more difficult, like as actively as possible. So God, I want to speak your supernatural, fortitude and wisdom for these women who are facing impossible situations where they have to be the provider. There is no other provider, or they have to fight the warfare. There's no one to protect them from their husband because their husband was the one that was supposed to protect them and be their covering. So God, the only thing that I can think of is to ask you to give them that same vision of a marriage with you. Because in reality, God, like Jesus is our groom. And sometimes it's just a matter of like stepping out and taking his hand, even if we're a Christian and we just, we knew the concept, but we didn't live it out because we didn't know that we really could, because we didn't know that Jesus is that real. Well, I know it is, because it's been supernatural how you as my husband have cared for me in every single facet. Doesn't mean it wasn't hard. It just means that you have protected me. You have provided for me. You have given me the family, my new family, which was really my old family. But God, I just invite you now to fill that space where this person is with your presence. This goes for men too, because we are all the bride. We're also all sons. Those who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. So it's not gender specific. Like Jesus is your first love, regardless of what gender you are, who you are, what your marriage status is, single, married. Jesus is supposed to be our first love. So Jesus, just captivate the heart of the person that I'm speaking to and give them an encounter right now that says, you don't have to do this alone. In fact, I want to do this with you. I want to surprise you with my love and my miracles. I want you to trust me. I want to surprise you with what I can do when you trust me. Faith heals. There's something about faith heals. It's like, do you remember when the woman reaches out and touches his garment? And he says, your faith has healed you. And he calls her daughter. Daughter, your faith has healed you. Some of you, he's given me a word. Some of you have been offended at God. And you've also been offended by the person who did what they did to you, the person who didn't do what they were supposed to do. But it led you to be offended with God. Listen, what happened to you was unfair. Your position that you're in, it is unjust. But God is a God of justice. And his justice looks different than our idea of justice. Well, he needs to pay back. He needs to, he should be, and he's not. And he's submitted to the enemy. And we'll deal with that later. But right now, we need to get you out of just like treading water where you're slightly drowning, but you're barely like you're almost drowning. Like, I don't know who I'm speaking to, but that person is barely keeping their head above water right now. And so grab onto the lifesaver. It's right here. It's there. It's like, I can see it. But know that when you grab onto the lifesaver, he's going to be pulling you in. And when he pulls you in, he's going to be doing a work in you. And he's also going to be doing the work for you. That's a word. He's going to be doing the work in you, but he's also going to be doing the work for you. Because this is the finished work of the cross. The resurrection power of the cross. It's like, it's there, but we need to activate it. We need to receive it by faith. And so even if it's the practical day-to-day stuff, you want more time with your child, you need more space from the perpetrator at this moment, like any of those very practical things, like God has wisdom and revelation for you how to protect you and build you and move through the situation. I don't want to say get out of it, because I'm still in it. I'm very much in the situation. But I'm moving through it God's way. God's ways are higher than our ways. And yeah, let me just close out this prayer. God, I thank you for what you spoke. And God, I just pray that you would soften the hearts of the women, of the people who have been stuck in offense, that you would just shower them with grace to be able to forgive, whether it's you, the person, themselves. God, offense keeps us stuck. And so I just pray that even if it's a tear, even if it's that, like, I just feel like a rumbling in someone's heart, like a soft shaking, a stirring. That's your soul, that's your spirit saying, yes, I want deliverance. Yes, I want healing. And you guys can message me. You can leave a comment, and I can get in touch with you if you'd like to do a specific one-on-one call where we can do some ministry time. We can just do some prayer and ask God, like, what does he want to do? What does he want to speak? How does he want to love you? Because I'm telling you, I've been on this journey a year and a half of deliverance. Like almost every week, healing and deliverance, and just growing in God. And I lost almost everything except for my daughter, right? Like I'm starting from scratch because God is removing, because he loves me, and he is cleaning house. And again, he's in it. He is in it. He is in it. He wants to be more active in your situation, but he's not. He's a gentleman. He's not going to overstep himself. He's not going to overstep you. And all you got to say is, okay, God, I receive you. I receive you, God. Do a miracle because I need you. He loves a humble and willing heart.